Warning! Netsurf features videos from the internet is intended for a mature audience. Maxima does not condone the activities performed and heavily discourages anyone from attempting them. Enjoy the show!
I never want to hear that f***ing sound again. Do I make myself clear? Good. Then we can begin.
Hey Netsurfers, tonight's episode has been sponsored by Rogue Energy. Go to rogueenergy.com and use Maxima checkout to get 10% off. Get yourself some shit to drink, alright? Now back to the show.
So, it has indeed been quite a long time. Allow me to explain myself so that we can clear some of the air that's been going on over the years. Months. I have to read off a script or else, so help me God, I'm going to go off on a tirade. God forbid I actually try not to do something stupid for 5 minutes. So a lot of people have wondered what the hell has happened to Netsurf over the past few months. We were expecting a Christmas episode, and that never came to be. Technically, I could be sued for false advertising. Same for the Halloween episode, which never came. Even though I literally said, we had this promo, but we never made the episode. For context, we actually filmed this episode around September so we could have it finished by October when we were still following the Season 1 paved way to Season 2 format, before we went all equals 3. And that's the only existing clip from that episode. We didn't film anything else other than that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I have some swimming to do. Everybody hurt. So what went wrong exactly? First, we have to go through a little bit of a brief history, such as...
So, somewhere around May of 2021 or 2022, I think it was 2022, yes, but, I ran away from home and lived with my father for a little while. My father, I will not name. I'm already stepping on thin ice here because he's deliberately threatened to sue me for mentioning him in the show, but this is part of the history here. During that time, I really was thinking, since not long ago, I kind of patched up a relationship with someone who is now the co-founder of Maxima, Derps, that we could start anew and try and make new shows and actually try to commit to them. Because all the other times we made a show on Maxima, at the time Omega House and then Omega Nexus, it flopped. Like, there was nothing we could do. It just flopped. And yes, Film Crew 2 was in a state of, yes, it flopped. There was not a whole lot we could do. It was very stressful. But at that time, I was living with, well, a person I'll just call A. During that time, I was thinking of new ideas to get Omega Nexus on a start somewhere. And in that process, I got sick with a stomach bug. Again. I keep forgetting what it was, but I had it once and twice, and it wasn't fun, and it kept me dehydrated. Not even Gatorade would do anything, not even water, so I had to go to the hospital to get some IV the second time around, and that's where I learned I'm traumatized by catheters. But that's not important here. What's important is that during that time, I was getting ready to make amends with my other side of the family, who I live with now, and move right back in and live my life again. At this point in time, I was binge watching a lot of G4 when that was still a network, and I started brewing something up. What if there was a show that I made that talked about a lot of the topics that I see on the internet. And that's where I started forming more and more ideas, which would later become Netsurf. I had troubled times trying to figure out the name of the show because it was like, well, there was Tosh.0, there was Ridiculousness, and there was Attack of the Show. But then I had the idea of, surfing the net. Surfing the net. Netsurf! It kind of reminded me of Netscape, which, appropriate. But at that time, I knew that right when I moved back in, I was going to try and get into the movie making industry. Well, not movie making, but you get the gist. Because at the same time, I was taking a video production class in school. And it taught me a lot about editing, filming, boarding, and writing. And I kind of figured out the basics within time. And I owe that to my video productions teacher. Todd, if you're watching this, thank you for everything you taught me, even though I flunked your class. Mainly because I didn't turn things in. I was a lazy little shit. But when I returned, my family surprised me with a renovated room. It was all new, new bed, new painted walls, new carpet, new desk, new computer, new TV. It was brand new. It was like as if I just got into this. And in that time, I made myself right back at home, binge watched a lot of G4 while I was still recovering from my stomach bug, still trying to figure out what it was named. I just can't remember. But after that point, I managed to find my old flip video camera that I totally did not take from school as a pass-me-down. I totally bought it with my own money. I did not wait for the opportunity for someone to say, I don't want it anymore, will you take it? But I did. So I used the flip video camera to start up a few pitch ideas and start the concept for Netsurf. And I wanted to originally get my brother in on it, but he was busy with work at the time because he worked at a Walmart. And then late one night at 3 a.m., all the magic finally came true. As the first episode of Netsurf was finally filmed. It was basically me just tossing a bunch of shit together to form an episode and make it quick so that way I could push something out on the Omega Nexus. So that way it's not like we rebranded all for nothing. But in the end, we rebranded again, and we're still not doing anything big other than Vibe Chat. So that's not exactly changed for a while. And it all goes to show that this history certainly brought something new. And that was the birth of Netsurf. And that's where we are today.
What a great historical endeavor between the history of Netsurf and why the hell it's gone. Which is our next subject here. Why the hell did it disappear? Well, there's a few catalysts that I'm not too proud of explaining here. And those would be...
Starting off, we have terrible writing. The show was poorly written, well, hell, unscripted even, which led to multiple other issues along the road, including me getting very political. The thing, too, is that, well, nobody wants to see the same hideous face all the time. More on that later. Next up, we have degeneracy. The show had its degenerate moments, mostly the exploding milk prawns episode of Season 2. Not only was it political, but we actually used the footage they took from a screen cap. Which is why we age restricted it. We don't want minors seeing that shit, as it could get us in very, very deep shit with the law. As much as I wanted to delete it and act like the episode never happened, someone's gonna cry that I'm basically sweeping the episode under the rug like it never happened at all. So, just to make sure that never happens, I guess we have to keep the episode up. I hate myself. Plus, after the show's end, I may or may not have taken shady commissions from horny furries just for a quick buck. Mainly because I didn't have a job internship for a little while, and I'm desperate for money, as we all are, and I'm still kind of at that point. Horny furries made sure I could at least put clothes on myself and dinner on my table. And lastly, trolling. Back then, there was a wave of trolls. I couldn't handle them because, if I'm gonna be honest...
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I had to use a clip from a different video because I'm not fucking saying that. But within that time, I formed a team built to respond to things and also improve on content because it wasn't even trolling at all. Again, I was being stupid. Some of it was some criticisms and some of it was impersonating me on YouTube. Really cute. However, enough with the issues. We've already addressed that the show is too political, too degenerate, poorly written, hell, not even written at all, and that there was people that just didn't like it to a point where they found my name. Of course, I made that name public information like an idiot. Again,
I'm kind of retarded.
now for what I plan to improve in just a few seconds after I let my real life self do the rest of the talking.
So now that we know that the show is heavily flawed, what do I plan to do to fix it?
What I plan to improve with the show is probably going to be something a lot of people want. Firstly, write a fucking script. That's the main issue I want to bring to attention here. I'm going to be writing scripts for each and every episode, so that way I don't get off topic and go on a fucking tangent like I did last time. Because the last time that happened, we had exploding milk prawns.
I regret everything.
And on the note of that, the next part is basically have standards and practices check everything. I already had an exploding milk prawn situation happen before. I'm doing my absolute fucking best to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Alright, now that I've had enough of pretty much explaining this to you with my microphone and giving you graphics, let's give you a detail about how it's done. I know it's a little monotone, a little bit of a buzzkill that this is going so short, but I'm still expecting a job sometime soon, so shut the hell up. Now, the first process of all this is, well, surfing the internet. The first thing I really do is surf the internet in the hopes I find a subject that really piques my interest. Like, for example, let's take the first episode, which was a complete mess. I took a bunch of things from Twitter and a couple things I was really interested in and some things I was really excited for because, well, Ray William Johnson decided to pull a fast one on us and after he got married announced that your favorite Martian was coming back because Disney, they didn't renew the license. It was his property again. Secondly, I put that into action. I take out this flip video camera, which is recording my every move right now, so I could literally just do something like... You get the point. I was doing something dumb, and the camera caught it. Back in the early days of Netsurf, I would just hook up a camera to a tripod, which is no longer with us, because lesson learned, don't buy anything from Walmart. It's going to shit the bed within a month. Walmart, save money. Off. And I would just blab off in front of a TV screen. That TV screen I still have to this day. It is a Vizio and it sucks, but I guess I have to make ends meet. It's... Technology is not cheap, you know, so I gotta be grateful for what I have. The next step would be to take this into VideoPad, where I work painstakingly to make it right, and because I used to pause a lot, I still kind of do because I'm still not reading the fucking script that I stayed up all night writing. I take these clips and I put them all together, and I try to get rid of as much pausing as possible. This is no exception. So long as I pause, that's a lot of time that could make the episode a lot more awkward. Like so. Of course, the video doesn't exactly rely on just the camera. It also relies on other media. This is why I kind of consider the original run of Netsurf recycled television. because it's basically taking things that have already been posted online and reusing them most of the time just because I could. And there was no copyright policies or nothing YouTube slapped at me, and when there were, it was basically just, oh, they're allowing you to put it on YouTube. Okay, cool.
The most I really got for a penalty or something of the sort was when I released Karen's in the Wild 2, it started off with an age restriction by YouTube. I don't know why, but for some reason it's gone. It's messed up. It's weird. I don't know what YouTube is smoking, but I want some.
The camera's kind of tilted, so a lot of editing is done too for that. I recently learned how to do the motion effect, which means the editor can pretty much track my head. Watch it go, watch it move. Of course, I don't want to do this. It's painful, it sucks, but at the end of the day, that's what gets the job done. I'm a lone man working on this. And the last step is titling it, making thumbnails, and previewing. I preview this stuff to the rest of the Maxima team whenever possible, so that way the process isn't complete shit. Now, what happened over the years was I went from standing to a TV to standing in front of the camera, which turned out to be the worst thing I could have ever done because holy fucking pores and pimples. Hygiene. I did it late at night. I've learned now to do it in the morning. I've learned to do it way more often than I should. Better than the time I fucking bleached my fingers. I had to go to the hospital. But it went from that to something more like =3, because at the time I was obsessed with Ray William Johnson's content. I was a simp. I still watch his content, but I think it's a shell of what he used to be. And the fact that I almost tried and replicated what he does with TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram, it makes me feel disgusted thinking that I ever went to those lengths. And I still probably have to go to those lengths because I signed a contract. Kill me. So yeah, basically what I have in place is some new rules, some guidelines to make sure this show stays civil and tries not to make the mistakes of what the show previously did. That way I still have a show, and I wanted to do free porn for a living because, god damn it, as much as I want to make money, I don't think I want to make money drawing all the time.
I regret everything.
So basically, I want to keep the show in order, I want to keep the show civil, so no politics, and whatever there is, I'm gonna let standards and practices call me out on it. Because sometimes I realize that I can accidentally get political at times and, well, I didn't realize what I was doing. So case in point, there's going to be a new Netsurf. It's going to fix all the flaws with the original show. It's going to not be political, because the last time I got political, I mistook Republicans by the color that they use, red, and I got a little extremist. I still regret that. And don't forget, Netsurf's not the only show on Maxima that you should be watching. This is actually part of a rebirth initiative that Maxima has been putting together to bring back shows like they just premiered. Which is why Netsurf is coming back with an entirely new look, entirely new style, entirely new everything. We want to make it like the original show never happened. Even though we're still canonically calling it Season 3. The same thing is happening to Film Crew, but it's not going to be live action. You see, there's this new division from Maxima called Maxima Animation Concepts, where we're basically just making cartoons, if we can even call them cartoons. If anything, I'd like to personally call them animatics or storyboards, because I'm not drawing frame-by-frame lip sync, even if my life depended on it. That is like a prison sentence in of itself. Anywho, this is Dan. It's no longer Jay because I can't hide anymore. Wishing you all a nice, lovely shebang, and until we meet again. Oh, what a good episode. But what went wrong last time?
What could have made the last incarnation of the show go so bad?
I mean, it can't be all that bad, right? Hi, and welcome to the first episode of the kind of person that would take Encyclopedia Dramatica 100% seriously, when in reality the platform is just attacking a stand-up comedian if they're fucking Kramer.
Oh, yep! Middle finger, I just saw it! Oh, wow!
I mean, I don't get it. What could I have possibly done wrong?
And then I watched the rest of season 2.
Why? Why did I put that in there? Wow. I can't believe I still am based with that opinion about Overwatch players. Okay. Some changes need to be made. And I think I know how.
What's up, everyone? It's good to be back.
Ooh, television.
Ready for role-playing night? Here comes...